Netflix just recently released a series called Jupiter's Legacy, which is based off of a comic book by Mark Millar. I binged the series and I have a lot to say about it. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about all things nerdy and beyond. Today we are talking about Jupiter's Legacy, which stars Josh Duhamel, Leslie Bibb, Ben Daniels, and a lot of other people. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this is based off of a comic book of the same name by Mark Millar. And admittedly, I did not read this comic before or after this series. I really don't know much about it. I'm purely basing this entire review on the show itself. Jupiter's Legacy has a lot of drama, and it's kind of a 2-for-1 series, as it splits the origin of the original group and the journey that they go on to become heroes that they eventually become starting in the 1920s, although this is a very extensive story that takes a lot of build-up, as well as it splits with the modern-day version of these superheroes dealing with the ever-changing world and their children beginning to take the reins as the up-and-coming heroes. To be honest, Jupiter's Legacy left me wanting a lot from it. Not necessarily that it was bad, but just it could have been a lot better. The biggest issue that I take with this series is right out of the first episode, where there's this really big fight amongst the heroes and a big bad named Black Star. And it looks like complete garbage. Actually, anytime there was any kind of superhero fight, it looked like the quality dropped immensely. Like Netflix wasn't aware of how much money they need to sink into certain visuals for superhero battles. It looked like the series should have been on the CW next to The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow whenever these fight scenes happen. Thank God there's not a lot of them. The suits look rubbery and over padded, very much like DC's Shazam. The bad guys' hands look overly prosthetic and cheap. I honestly just expect better from Netflix, considering all of Volume 1, which is 8 episodes, dropped at the same time. They didn't have to have the expectation of next week we need to crank out this next episode. It was all coming out at the same time. So they had time to develop the series and the overall look, yet it still kind of came out crappy. In terms of the acting and casting, for the most part I thought it was fine. I liked Josh Duhamel when they were doing the flashback portion of him as Sheldon Sampson, but as soon as they took on the long hair and beard as the Utopian, it just didn't connect. I didn't feel like he fit the character at all. The standout of the series, however, in my mind was Matt Lanter as George Hutchins, aka Skyfox. Now, we don't really get to know him very well as Skyfox other than knowing he goes rogue and becomes a supervillain against the Union. He plays a very cocky guy who has a massive personality on the exterior, but on the inside is losing everything including his fortune. I really wish they would have dug deeper into his character. He's supposed to be the one that broke up the Union. He's the reason why all of these bad things are happening more in the current times. We just could have gotten way better character development and he could have been even more of a standout. But I think that they were kind of building that up for a season 2, but considering how this show has been received so far, I kind of don't expect to see a season 2. The entire series, in fact, feels like a missed opportunity. It almost feels like the prologue to get you introduced to the series as a whole, but it never gets quite to the meat and potatoes. It dances around a lot of subject matter and spouting about why the hero code is so important, but it doesn't give us much rhyme or reason to it other than a superhero has to be the example for better. After 8 episodes and nearly 6 hours of content, I would say skip Jupiter's Legacy. You spend most of the time spinning your wheels trying to get to that moment that makes you feel like this is a great show that I need to come back and watch, but never quite getting there. Unless you're a fan of the comic or just enjoy the politics of superhero drama without getting down and dirty like The Boys or Invincible, I would wait until season 2, even though, like I said, it's unlikely to happen. That way you can binge the heck out of this season and not have to wait for the good stuff that's supposedly probably going to be next season. So those are essentially my thoughts on Jupiter's Legacy. If you have seen this series, if you liked it or didn't like it, let me know why down in the comment section down below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, including my ongoing revisiting the MCU series and other random videos that I may put up. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and hope to see you in the next video.